Finding the perfect 53. It's orange and blue today. We're presented by Champ Honda. The Denver Broncos perfect 53 may include players that aren't on the team, Mace. And that's why as we go through this preseason game, it is the preseason finale. It is the Los Angeles Rams. They're not going to play their starters. The Broncos are going to play a few starters. We'll get to what we need to see. That's coming up later in the show. But finding the perfect 53 means to me, you're looking at other teams as well.
They have the number 5 waiver claim. And so to just explain that, if you're not familiar with the waiver system, players who are not vested veterans, so they have fewer than 4 years of experience in the league, when they are cut at the roster deadline, they go through what's called the waiver process, where any team can claim them in that 24-hour period. If they go unclaimed, the original team can sign them back to their practice squad. But the claiming process works like this. It's the draft order. So worst team from last year has the top priority. That would be the Chicago Bears with the number 1 spot. The Broncos would have had the 5th pick. Therefore, they have the number 5 waiver claim spot. So as long as the teams that are ahead of them, which I believe would be Chicago, Houston,
right?
Arizona, and Indianapolis, I believe.
I believe so, yes.
Yes.
Yep. Seattle didn't get everything.
Yeah. So as long as those 4 teams don't claim somebody the Broncos want, the Broncos could claim that player and would then have to add them to the 53-player roster. And of course, if you have the max of 53, that means you cut somebody or you put them on injured reserve, which is why something to keep an eye on with Jerry Jeudy's hamstring injury is, does he go to IR, recallable IR, 1 day after being on the 53, thus missing 4 weeks, but also freeing up a roster spot to bring somebody else in?
Yes. And as you and I on Thursday, we're talking to Chris Thomason, like, hey, there's some game, every team, because Chris used to cover the Vikings, and he asked us, like, do they play games with the roster? Yes, everybody does.
They did last year. Mike Purcell cut for a day, brought back on the same contract terms. Give credit to the Broncos for honoring that commitment.
Not many teams would do that.
Yeah, that came back on the exact same terms, and then was a part of the team for the balance of the season. And then I believe it was Michael Ojemudia and Greg Dulcich were the guys who went to injured reserve. But when you go on IR a day after the roster deadline, that means you can be recalled back to the roster during the season.
Right.
So Jalen Virgil can't be recalled. Of course, he tore his meniscus last Saturday against the 49ers. Jerry Jeudy, presuming that he goes on injured reserve early next week, if they determine that's the course of action for wanting him back from his hamstring after 4 games. If he does that, then you have that spot that you can work with, but you can bring him back anytime after 4 weeks.
Right. So the Broncos will be doing some maneuvering. Deadline is Tuesday.
Yes.
Well, why are we talking about that on a Friday? Because this final preseason game, we could make the 53 right now and have 95 or higher % accuracy. The final preseason game does matter for a few players. We're going to talk about one of them just below next, but like, yeah, the work has been done for the most part. If you've put it on film in training camp, we've seen it. The Broncos have seen it, and now they're ready to make those decisions.
They are. You can do something to change that, but it takes something a little bit off the chain, a little bit unexpected. I'd say, for example, there are some players who could have come in on the bubble, but I'd say they're safe. I think Jaleel McLaughlin, barring injury, is safe.
Yes.
Of course, but here's an example of how this roster construction can work. Brandon Johnson appeared safe going into the last preseason game a year ago. He suffers an injury. The Broncos cut him while he rehabs, and then they bring him back in the regular season, the practice squad, in the 53. So there's room for some movement like that, but probably not. Probably not much of it. And you're hoping you're not seeing it under injury-related circumstances like you saw from Johnson last year.
Yes, and non-injury-related circumstances, but a couple of players that we appreciate, and they've had really good camps, clearly on the bubble, and their role might just be practice squad, Michael Bandy and Taylor Grimes. It would take something extraordinary Saturday from either one of those two. And we saw it on Thursday's joint practice against the Rams. Bandy had a spectacular catch over the shoulder sideline, dropping in a bucket from Jarrett Stidham, by the way. So yeah, but it would take a few of those plays in that game for Bandy to push for the 53. As great of a training camp as he's had.
Right. And you look at him and you look at Kendall Hinton having another spectacular catch as well early in practice. Now, Hinton's catch was from Russell Wilson. Very nice job threading the needle, tight window, got it to him. I'd say Hinton is above or above Michael Bandy, pardon me, in terms of having a stake to a spot on the roster. The way that Sean Payton and Joe Lombardi talked about Kendall Hinton, talking about his intelligence, now the intelligence can kind of make up for not being the physical prototype, sounded to me like Kendall Hinton's making this team as one of the receivers, especially now with the Jerry Jeudy injury coming into play.
Yeah, Thursday we got some more clues into how this team can find their perfect 53, and it was pretty good clues for a Kendall Hinton. What about the clues we got on Montreal Washington?
That's practice squad, baby. I think so.
Yeah.
Just hasn't been used as much. You can see not really falling out of favor, but just
no. They prefer Marvin Mims to do more.
Yes.
And he is doing more, and he's looking good.
But Montreal, you keep him on the practice squad if you can sneak him through, and then you keep working with him. And if something happens to Marvin Mims, then you move Montreal up and you're covered.
Right.
There are going to be some players you're going to roll the dice on and hope that they are there. But that being said, I would also argue that a fair amount of the practice squad may not be here right now. They may be coming from other teams.
Yes.
That's another thing to ponder as well, that maybe some deeper down the roster spots might see some changes coming in here over the next several days.
We might see some changes when we go out to practice next week on Tuesday.
Yeah.
We might see someone with the team appearing to make it, and then we might have changes after that.
This is always the worst part of the year, in my opinion.
Yes.
This is hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. This poem went.
Very good.
Some dreams die in the next few days. That's what's hard about this.
Well, a guy that's keeping his dream alive with the Denver Broncos is Albert Okwuegbunam. He's doing it, man. Now, based on commentary from the coaches, he'll have to have a game on Saturday. So as we sit here on Friday discussing what we need to see, and that's coming up next, Albert Okwuegbunam, he's done it. He's blocked. He's looked good. He's caught 4 touchdowns in 2 days against the Rams in joint practices, but he needs a game on Saturday to secure a spot on the 53.
He does, and it's not just about blocking and catching passes. He's also got a flash on special teams, because if you are a down the depth chart player, you're going to have a special teams role. He didn't have one last year. That was a reason why he kept being inactive until Jerry Rosberg said, no, I want to see what this kid has. I want to play him. And his special teams role has expanded. And in the opinion of the special teams coordinator, Ben Katwika, he did play well in that phase. And let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
I think he had a good week. And I think that, the last couple of days with the Rams has been improved. So Saturday will be a big night for him.
I think that said it all. Saturday will be a big night for him. If Alberto can, and we're not even saying like touchdown, but 3 catches, 35, 40 yards, and really good special teams.
Plays well on special teams and has a nice block.
Maybe opens up a hole for somebody.
He had a key block on Jaleel McLaughlin's touchdown run.
Yes.
Something like that. If we're sitting there at the end of the game and we're saying, wow, Alberto looked good in the pass catching phase and the blocking phase and on special teams, at that point, he's made his case for the roster. And I don't think he's taking a spot from another tight end. I think that's where you go light at wide receiver, perhaps.
And you go 5 tight ends, 5 wide receivers.
I think 5 tight ends on this roster is a legitimate possibility, but whether it happens or not is entirely up to Alberto. It's on him.
Yep. And isn't that the way it's supposed to be? I'm proud for him. I really am. I came into camp saying he's not going to make the team. What are we talking about?
To his credit, he has really fought back in the last 2 weeks. Sean Payton talked about having conversations with players saying, hey, you got to step it up. And he's not going to tell them that they're on the bubble specifically, but that's the conversation that says you got to find another gear here or you're not going to be here in a couple of weeks. I would imagine he had one of those conversations with Albert O. He did talk during minicamp about the need for Albert O to have confidence.
Yes.
That he had there was one day, he had a really good day out there in minicamp. And okay, could he build on that? Could he stack some days? What we're seeing, we've seen him stack some days. Really, the only thing that's gone wrong for Albert O over the last few days watching him was after he scored a touchdown on Thursday and he dunked it over the crossbar and all the flags flew. Like, honestly, I'm watching it and I'll admit, I followed Albert O at Mizzou. I do root for this young man.
Mm-hmm.
And
incredible talent.
He's talented. He's also a really nice guy on top of it. That's what matters most. He's really, really nice. And you can kind of tell like some things are, a little bit of a struggle for him. There's, confidence and there's headspace stuff. And I want him to get right there. As someone who has plenty of headspace issues of his own.
When he dunks that ball,
I'm like, dude, no. Like,
I'm saying, dude, yes.
No, I wanted to stop him because I know the coaches don't want to see an ME, a mental error like that. And that was a mental error.
Yes. Because you get flagged for that now. It's not the Jimmy Graham days where you could do that.
I hate the penalty. I hate things that protrude upon genuine celebration of accomplishment. I think we should have more fun. Now, granted, I'm a little bit opposed to posing for a picture when you're down 27-0 after you get an interception. Again, read the room, but you make a play, you celebrate a touchdown, good.
There's an easy way to fix this. Do you know what it is? Put a basketball hoop in the end zone.
If they did that, if they put a basketball hoop next to the play clock,
guys could go do alley-oops and stuff.
75% of the players would celebrate there. That'd be great. They'd rehearse celebrations.
Yes.
Practice.
You'd have like some Harlem Globetrotter stuff.
You know what you're worried about? Injuries,
yes.
I mean, Ryan Clady back in the day got injured playing basketball, right? He tore his patella tendon.
He did.
Yeah.
So you put it at like 9 feet. Or you put like a Nerf one. You make it like a kiddie one, right?
With my calf muscles and my hops, 9 feet, I might be able to get up.
There you go. That's right. It's Orange and Blue today, presented by Sean Ponda. You did it again.
I did what again?
I'll move right along so I don't get you to turn redder than you already are.
You got to say it right now. What'd I do?
Even I can get up.
Oh God!
You told me to say it, baby. I wasn't going to say it. I was going to save you from that, but we cannot because you asked for it.
You can't even say that's what she said on that one.
No, not at all. Albert O, we're rooting for you, man. We want to see this guy make plays.
How do I step in it like that? I guess I can't.
You're a nice guy. That's how you step in it.
I'm pure of mind and heart.
So what do we need to see to wrap up today's show? And we'll do a little brief show today. It's a Friday, right? Get out of here. Have a good weekend. Enjoy that Broncos game. Coming up on Saturday, what do we need to see? Not what do we want to see, but what do we need to see from Sean Payton's group, both offense, defense, and you'll enjoy this, special teams.
Okay, special team. Let's start with Brett Maher.
Oh, please.
If he's going to hold off competition from anywhere else.
Don't miss anything.
Dude's got to be perfect.
He does.
Yeah, can't miss a kick. I think he used up his mulligans in Arizona a fortnight ago. He's got to get it right.
Yes.
I'd say for any number of players kind of on the back end, if you're Nate Atkins, you're Traymon Smith, you go out there and make a play on teams, have a positive impact on kickoff coverage, punt coverage. Make yourself indispensable. That's a key thing. How do you put yourself in a position to where they can't create a 53-player roster without you? Now, There are going to be some spots that open up. I mean, I wonder, for example, if the cut down and then injured reserve process, we talked about Jerry Jeudy, maybe at least to Riley Moss going on IR to start the season as well.
Right.
And missing the first 4 games as he works his way back from core muscle surgery. So there are going to be some spots available. There may be some nervous times for these guys, but I want to see those plays, and you'll know it when you see it. I would like to see. Oh gosh.
I would like to see everyone stay healthy.
Well, that too.
That's what I need to see.
You're talking mostly about depth
I don't
guys
need
playing.
to see Jaleel McLaughlin, but I was on with Stokely and Zach on Thursday, and Stoke was like, I need to see plenty of Jaleel. I'm like, no.
Why?
No, there's no need. We've seen enough. Like, I want to see a lot of Dwayne Washington. Like,
Tony
I don't
Jones.
need to see Jaleel McLaughlin. Tony Jones is fine.
Tyler Beatty coming back from injury. I'd like to see him out there.
Does he deserve a spot on the practice squad? Let's take a look.
Is Brandon Johnson ready to go? Let's see him get some reps.
I love seeing him back on Thursday against the Rams.
Yeah.
It's good to see 89 out.
Had a nice catch. But
yes, he did.
There's another thing that's helping him, and I think it's going to help him get playing time early in the season while Jerry Jeudy is out. Dude blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think because you are trying to establish the run, I suspect your base package offense in week 1 is going to be 2 tight ends, and your 2 receivers are Cortland Sutton and Brandon Johnson, because they have the physicality and awareness to block.
Right. And when you have 2 tight ends, it actually can be 11 personnel. And I'm not giving away the play based on media policy, but you remember against the Rams on Thursday, it wasn't a good throw by Russ, but it was to Dulcich that would have been a score, because Dulcich, they looked heavy. Again, I won't reveal too much. They had a heavy package, but it wasn't a heavy pack. They were not running.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to Dulcich, and if the pass was good, that's 6 points.
Okay. And here's another question to ask. We were talking about Albert O earlier.
Who's made more plays than Dulcich.
And I would say this: what is more valuable in terms of roster construction and explosiveness on offense? A 6th wide receiver or Albert O as a 5th tight end?
A 5th tight end. No doubt. Albert O, much more important.
So I think maybe we're looking at, in terms of receivers, Sutton, Jeudy, Mims, Brandon Johnson,
Kendall Hinton.
Are you maybe playing the can he pass through waivers game and bring him back with Lil Jordan Humphrey?
Yes. Now, we did not mention Marquez Callaway.
Okay. There's a dude.
He's had some drops.
He's had some drops. There is a dude who absolutely needs to make a big play or big plays,
plural,
on Saturday night.
Yes.
Because they just have not been there from him. He's probably been, in terms of expectations, he's been one of the more disappointing players.
We've seen more plays from Lil Jordan Humphrey than we have from Marquez.
I don't think Callaway is close to the roster right now.
No, which is odd, because he's a Saints guy, and last time with Peyton, he led the team in receiving. Like, all these things add up to, like, it's a pretty easy path to the 53. It hasn't been, the math isn't correct.
He has to play his way onto the bubble, because he's behind Lil Jordan Humphrey. He's behind Brandon Johnson, and he's behind Kendall Hinton. Jinx.
Got me again.
The 2nd show in a row.
I got you earlier when you turned beat red. But anyway, what else do you need to see as we tie a bow on the program?
Can't believe myself.
Kind of what the show is. Wayne's World quotes and Mace.
Embarrassing. Turning red and embarrassing myself on a daily basis.
It's fun. It's fun. Need to see Broncos country.
I have no guile sometimes. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
But, guile can kind of mean, something negative at times too.
It can be that as well.
Like I said, I'm pure of heart.
Pure of spirit. I need to see Broncos country just show up and have a good time, right? Mm-hmm. This is preseason. You're not going to see many starters for much if they do play and all these sorts of things. But, like, I know a lot of people that can't afford to go to a regular season game. It's expensive. Mm-hmm. And even preseason is somewhat expensive. And I know, times are tough out there. So if you can, make it out. Enjoy some cooler weather as we begin today's show with the weather forecast. Like, go out there and have fun and show up and cheer on your team. This is going to be a year to find out who are Sean Payton's guys. This could be a disappointing year to some. But at the end of the day, Mace, You either win or you learn, and when you learn, you win. So the Broncos will win this year because they're going to do a lot of learning in 2023.
I mean, look, you talk about going to the game. You can get in for $22 on Saturday night.
Boom.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
And by the way, if you go on a Ticketmaster, look
not a bad seat in the house, by the way.
Yeah, there are a lot of seats available for this one. It's preseason.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a fair amount of tickets. So yeah, go on. If you want to go, again, like I said, the rain is almost certainly going to be cleared out well before the game. It'll be cool. Put on a sweatshirt, have yourself a beverage, but maybe enjoy a nice Colorado sky. There are no skies like Colorado skies, especially at sunset. So if you sit on the east side, watch the sun drop over the west side of the stadium with the Rocky Mountains off in the distance and enjoy a little football.
Yeah, beautiful, cool. Cold beverage.
It'll feel like football too, with a temperature in the 60s. It'll, not quite that autumn nip in the air, but you're gonna get a taste of it. I was having a conversation today about pumpkin spice, and last Sunday I saw some pumpkin spice stuff for sale at Jamba Juice in the San Jose airport, and I'm like, really? Too early? You know what though? We have a cool down after this rain moves in. I might be up for some pumpkin spice.
Well, pumpkin spice will do you some good.
Yeah. If that's what I'll do, I'll go stop and get a pumpkin spice, beverage on my way in, and, over at a coffee shop, and then drive in and enjoy the game. You
know what we need? I'm totally going to get on corporate with this.
Okay.
We need Orange Blue Today merch. I want to see you all wearing OBT sweatshirts.
Yeah. Where is that?
OBT is a BFD. Corporate probably wouldn't do that one, but an Orange Blue Today, the t-shirt.
Yeah.
People love t-shirts. Anyway.
People do. I'm wearing a plain t-shirt today, though.
Yeah, we both have.
Yeah, we're kind of, you got the blue, I got the black.
Yeah, I got the Henley on today.
Yeah.
So. There you go.
No chain, though. I can't do chains.
You can't do the chain?
No.
You could do the chain.
No, I can't.
You could totally rock the chain.
No, it's not me.
No?
It's not me.
I'm not earring?
I'm not a jewelry guy.
Really?
You're
a watch guy. You have a Super Bowl ring.
It's an Apple Watch. I mean, it's an Apple Watch with a Grogu
wristband.
Wristband. My daughter encouraged me to get it. I mean, all right. On to the game.
Watch Ahsoka.
Have you
seen Ahsoka?
I still have to watch Andor. I'm behind. I'm ashamed.
And you're a Star Wars fan.
I know, but I get behind. Is Ahsoka worth watching?
Very much so.
Oh man, okay. Yeah,
Very
you know what?
So.
Maybe you just gave me something to do tonight. It's raining. It's Friday night. It's raining, so that I may not want to do my usual, my usual trip to wherever. Kind of getting lost and enjoying a Friday night, like I like to do.
Get lost in the Star Wars universe.
Maybe I will do that. Just make myself a beverage at home and sit back and catch up a little bit. Binge. Little Star Wars binge.
Oh, binge in multiple ways, but either way, some blue milk.
Wait.
Hey, I said blue milk.
I know. Binge on blue milk?
Yeah.
I had the blue milk at Disney World.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Good. Aunt Peru was onto something.
Yeah. And we got the non-alcoholic stuff, so my daughter and I split it.
Okay.
Yeah, she liked it.
All right.
Both of us did.
Little blue milk, little Star Wars, little Denver Broncos. And
there's a little something everything here.
There is.
Something for everybody.
Like Andrew Mason at Mace Denver on whatever social networking. I'm at Cecil Lammey. OBT is a BFD. We appreciate you all. As always, please stay tuned, and would you always stay frosty.